What's up guys, Blade Master here, back with some more Total War Rome 2 online action. I'm fighting up against Savage Bunny. He's a new member to the Wolf Clan. Very good player. Like, he's really impressed me with his skills in Rome 2, despite the fact that he's got only like 100 hours in the game. Like, he's really good, but he's an Empire Total War veteran, I believe, so he's got his micro on point. It just is a matter of time before he learns the proper builds, and he already has a very good idea of what the good builds are and stuff. And after that, it's just a question of trying to practice a little bit with these with the different kind of mechanics that are in play in Rome 2. But definitely a very good player, probably the best or the most impressed I have been to a new player since Linny. I don't know if any of you even remember who Linny is, except the other clan members, but he was this guy who had like 40 hours in Rome 2. But he was, I think he was a veteran like Dota 2 player, League of Legends player. So his micro was just so unbelievable. But even then, like, his timing and stuff like that, it was just amazing. But he just played for like, he was like a comet. Like, he flashed for like a couple of minutes, played his first tournament and went into the finals, I believe. And then he had some work, and he's been inactive ever since. Please come back, Lenny. We miss you. We miss you so much. Anyways, in this matchup I've taken Galatia, and Savage Bunny has taken Getae. It's going to be a pretty interesting matchup. We can see that Savage Bunny has taken a pretty unorthodox build, and it's still going to be pretty good though, because he's brought a total of 4 Dacian heavy bowmen, if I recall correctly. He has 4 Dacian heavy bowmen, a front line of 5 armored spears, a noble horseman general, a total of 4 noble swords, and a couple of Dacian spears, 3 Dacian spears. Now, meanwhile, I've brought a total of 3 mercenary horse skirmishers and keeping one up front to give his Dacian heavy bowman a target to aim at. Meanwhile, I'm circling around with 2 of them to try and get a gen snipe or something like that. It'll be pretty interesting to see how these units work, because a lot of people might be wondering why I haven't brought Galatian Raiders. And true, Galatian Raiders are an excellent unit, probably the most cost-effective horse skirmisher, but the reason I brought these guys is because they're so cheap, and they're actually a very nice unit in themselves if you can micro them properly, because they've got 41 missile damage, highest in class missile damage. So all you have to do is focus on one unit, one high value unit, and start whittling it down, and if you can, then they'll whittle it down really quickly. He's screening off a little bit too late with his Dacian spears here, so that's going to give me the opportunity to pull away with my horse skirmishers. And I was initially going to try and get a gen snipe, but I'm going to turn around and I'm going to start firing into the backs of these noble swords. But what he's doing is very smart. He's going to turn around with them so that they are facing with their shields to my horse skirmishers, so that 41 missile damage really isn't going to play too much of a role so far. But these are very quick units, light missile cavalry, and they're super quick. So now I'm going to get some flank shots while he's trying to move around. He's just taking a half a second too long with his screening with his Dacian skirmishers, or sorry, with his Dacian spears here. So yeah, now they're trying to whittle them down really quickly. That 41 missile damage is really coming into play. He's turning his back to my horse skirmishers, and that's going to give them a ton of kills. So these units don't really have a lot of ammo, as with every javelin cavalry in the game. So you really need to conserve your ammo properly. I'm getting a couple of shots into his spears, which is not a good use of them. But so far, the 107, they've whittled down 13 noble swords, and they've definitely caused a lot of HP damage to the rest. Let's take a look at my the rest of my army. But actually, no, I'm going to get a pretty decisive flank shot here. A couple of flank javelin volleys onto these noble swords, it looks like. No, I turned off, fire at will, but now this is going to be pretty decisive. That's just an excellent javelin volley onto these guys' sides, the unshielded sides, that too. So they're all the way down to 94 men. My other mercenary horse skirmisher was chased off by one of his Dacian heavy bowmen. So he's got 3 Dacian heavy bowmen plowing arrows onto my Levy Freeman unit, which is good for me, not good for him. That's quite a few volleys that's wasted on them. But now he's going to turn around and he's going to start shooting into my Galatian legionaries while they were hiding back. So they probably took a ton of HP damage on those volleys. Now I've brought a total of 6 Galatian legionaries. I've also brought 2 naked swords. These are probably the better naked swords unit at this point. Here you can see his noble swords are already down to 83 men. So just targeting one unit with 3 of those Dacian with these horse skirmishers will actually make them incredibly cost effective, because 360, they cost 360, and 360 times 3 is what? 365, 40. Wait, oh no, 720. Jesus Christ, I'm in finance. I should be able to know all this shit. But anyways, I've taken 2 naked swords here, one Galatian swords, and a couple of Levy Freemen. I've also brought 2 mercenary Cappadocian cav, and a couple of light horse and 1 noble horse general. So The Cappadocian Cav, I was able to, because of the cheap cost of these mercenary horse skirmishers, I was able to bring some Cappadocian Cav, which are very nice units, and I've also been able to bring a couple of light horse, and this is going to be a risky tactic. But I'm going to charge in with my light horse, and that's initially what I was planning. But he moved in with his spears, which meant that they weren't able to topple down those naked noble swords. So that my naked swords rush wasn't really a good idea then. So you can see these naked swords just dropping so quickly. Only 20 kills and they've gotten slaughtered. Now I'm charging into his armored spears with my Galatian legionaries, and that's going to be the case everywhere. He's immediately popped them into shield wall or shield screen, which is a very smart idea. But here he's firing into the backs of my Galatian legionaries, and that's an excellent use of his Dacian heavy bowmen. But I have this naked swords here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop frenzy, and onto these already depleted armored spears I'm going to get an excellent charge in. 52 charge bonus with these units means that they're going to start racking up the kills incredibly quickly. 20, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 on some really good units, and units that can probably hold out for a long time. But that meant that my Galatian legionaries were shattered because he got rear shots onto them. It was a pretty nice strategy on paper, but just too many bowmen for it to be effective. 36, 37 kills though. I'm punching a hole into his line really quickly. You can see these armored spears are getting slaughtered now. But the other naked swords just got destroyed by those noble swords. But my noble horse general over here destroyed his Dacian spears. And now his noble horsemen have gotten committed to chasing after one of my mercenary horse skirmishers. So I'm just going to, that's excellent for me. But I'm going to use that space to try and get a rear charge with my noble horse. But he's seen my general. He's going to try and commit for a charge. But I don't think he got an attack order on my general at the right moment. So the entire charge bonus of his actually really strong noble horsemen was completely nullified there. I'm going to charge into them, pin them down, and then turn around and start attacking his Dacian heavy bowmen, who've done a great job so far. And they're going to just focus fire on my noble horse, and they're starting to drop really quickly. But I've managed to catch some of these Dacian heavy bowmen with my light horse, and then my naked swords, who just destroyed his armored spears, are going to be able to catch up to these Dacian heavy bowmen because they're light infantry, so they're actually pretty quick. My Galatian legionaries, I've popped them into shield wall. These ones have been popped into shield wall, but they got charged in the rear, so they're going to start wavering and routing very quickly. I've got a rear charge though with my light horse onto his very depleted noble swords, and with frenzy charge I dare say they'd actually do a pretty good job, and that's going to time in well with his headhunt wearing off. So that, and I've put a war cry ability on him, so those noble swords are done. These levy freemen will actually be able to hold off against these noble swords for a little bit of time, because the noble swords are very tired and they weren't even able to get a charge off. Now I destroyed his armored spears by getting a rear charge with my noble horse. I'm going to come in to attack his Dacian heavy bowmen. My light horse have actually done pretty well. My mercenary horse skirmishers have done brilliantly because they killed off his general as well. That 41 missile damage was just crucial, and that's something that the Galatian raiders wouldn't have been able to do on the other hand. Levy freemen here just holding off these noble swords for as long as possible. Meanwhile, my Galatian legionaries should be able to tank out that battle and kill off those armored spears, but it's going to take a while. Naked swords getting 194 kills, 98, just destroying these spears units. And my levy freemen here just sandwiching that noble swords. My extra Galatian legionaries attacking them in the rear. My mercenary Cappadocian Cav really haven't done anything so far in the game. I just haven't had a way to utilize them. My Galatian swords should be able to do pretty decently against these pretty depleted noble swords. Yeah, and it's kind of too little too late for Savage Bunny at this point. He's got some very good noble swords left. I mean, they've got quite a few men. And on the other hand, I don't really have a lot of Galatian legionaries, but I have full strength Cappadocian Cav. I have a noble horse general, which is done quite well so far. So if I can get some rear charges in, that'll be pretty okay. But even though the balance bar kind of shows that it's going in my favor, these noble swords are going to be a pain in the ass. I'm going to have to deal with them very effectively if I want to win this game. But these naked swords should do pretty well in that regard. I think they're going to come in. I was about to get them in on a rear charge onto those armored spears and those noble swords. But I'm just readying up for what should be a pretty decisive charge here. I was about to charge into his armored spears, but I fainted that. No reason. But I'm going to commit now. My noble sword should be able to destroy that very thin line of armored spears. I was just trying to time it in well with my naked swords to come in and help out. Popped a war cry because these noble swords got attacked in the rear. Their general died as well, so they're shaken now. He's popped cavalry counter tactics, but I've pulled away with my general and I'm coming in with my naked swords for a frenzied charge. And there they go with the double experience chevron. And these noble swords are starting to waver now. And with a rear charge from naked swords, they're probably going to die very quickly. And that in general, the morale debuff is going to be too much. Meanwhile, I've sandwiched that noble swords and killed them off there. And his army losses and his noble swords are wavering and they are routed. Very costly victory to me and an excellent game, I'd say. And the reason I brought this, I've decided to cast this replay is because it shows one of the few instances when naked swords have actually done pretty well for me. It just kind of points out that there's such a risky unit to bring. And these mercenary horse skirmishers are actually a very good unit and an excellent addition to Galatia's roster. They, I mean, some of the more competitive builds I've seen for Galatia actually include more of these Galatian, these horse skirmishers than Galatian raiders. Because at the moment, it's very easy to screen off javelin cavalry with Levy Freeman. So in that sense, you're going to, waste more expensive units in Galatian raiders. And on the other hand, mercenary horse skirmishers can do an excellent job of sniping down a very high value target like you saw there. Just whittling down that noble swords until it got down to like 80 men and then killing off his noble horsemen with their extra ammo. My Galatian legionaries did the very standard and very reliable job that they always do. Galatian swords are a very good unit, I'd say, right now, and especially against a barbarian faction, they do very well. And these units actually did pretty well. One of my naked swords did terribly, but the other naked swords actually did really well. 252 kills with them. Light horse were pretty instrumental because they were just so quick and managed to catch his Dacian heavy bowmen who were dealing the damage to my Galatian legionaries. I probably wouldn't have been able to win because his armored spears were doing a great job at holding them out, while his Dacian heavy bowmen just slaughtered them. So yeah, credit to these light horse. Despite them not getting a bunch of kills, they managed to tie them down so that my naked swords could come in, so that my noble horse could come in. My mercenary Cappadocian cav just didn't really affect this game. Probably wouldn't bring them in any of my future builds. Maybe just bring some more like noble horse instead. I'm not sure. Anyways, guys, that's the end of this battle. Hope you enjoyed and stay tuned for more. Peace.